विश्व भारती की 100 वर्ष की यात्रा बहुत विशेष, एक दूसरे से सीखकर, एक दूसरे के साथ आनंद से रहते हुए, एक परिवार की तरह रहते हुए हम उन सपनों को साकार सकते हैं जो देश की महान विभूतियों ने देखे थे।
भाई কবে ডাকলো, কখন ডাকলো? বিজেপি যা বলবে সবাই শুনতে হবে। আমার তো একটা অফিস আছে, আমার কিছু জানা নেই। ওনারা আমাকে কোনো আমন্ত্রণ জানায়নি। নো আমন্ত্রণ, নো ফোন, নো নিমন্ত্রণ, নো বিশ্ব সাথে যোগে যেতে হয় বিহার।
আমার ঘর বাংলা, আমার দেশ ভারত, इस बार 200 पार।
Hello everyone, you're watching News Epicenter with me, Marya Shakil. The war for West Bengal continues to escalate ahead of the state elections as the BJP leads the saffron surge to claim the coveted state from Mamata Banerjee. The latest flashpoint is none other than Rabindranath Tagore, namely the centenary celebrations of the iconic Visva-bharati University. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today addressed the event in a major cultural outreach, celebrating the Nobel laureates' contribution to Indian culture and ethos. But Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, in a departure from protocol, gave the event a miss. Addressing the media, she said she wasn't invited at all. However, CNN News 18 has accessed the invite sent by the varsity, in fact, administration of the university to the Chief Minister, dated the 4th of December. The BJP has rained fire on the Chief Minister, with party chief JP Nadda accusing her of insulting the legacy of Tagore because of jealousy, political hatred and rivalry. Governor Jagdeep Dhankar also weighed in on the controversy, saying the institute should not be politicized. Meanwhile, TMC rebels who have jumped ship continue to lead the BJP blitz. Former TMC strongman and now BJP leader Shubhendu Adhikari held a mega rally in his stronghold of Midnapur. Speaking exclusively to News 18, Adhikari said that BJP will win over 200 seats. Just weeks ahead of the elections, we have seen verbal wars, violence and revolts, but now it seems that at this very critical juncture, there is a war of appropriation over who can claim that emotional card of Bengal's cultural icons. Prime Minister Modi has been taking the lead on this all the way. It all began in 2016, in fact, when he released the first set of 100 declassified files pertaining to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose at the National Archives of India in the presence of the freedom fighters' family. Back in January this year, Prime Minister Modi, in fact, renamed the Kolkata Port Trust after Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, the founder of the Bharatiya Jansangh. Now, with a glowing tribute to Tagore and Mamata skipping the event, the BJP is pushing hard to oust her from the cultural dialogue. In this legacy war in Bengal, is the BJP now succeeding in blunting the TMC's outsider versus insider narrative? Joining me on the show, Amit Malviya is the BJP West Bengal co-in-charge. Kanchan Gupta is ORF Distinguished Fellow. Also on the show, Professor Om Prakash Mishra, he is the TMC spokesperson. Sabha Naqvi, senior journalist. Professor Mishra, I am going to begin with you. Wary of BJP's growth in the state, the Chief Minister has been on a path of confrontation with central government for quite some time. But why should she skip an important event of a prestigious university just because she sees a challenger in the BJP?
BJP is not a very effective challenger here in Bengal. Last time they won only 3 seats out of 294. This time they might improve it by a few more seats. So therefore, the BJP ascendancy, Juggernaut, surge, etc., these are all imagination of the media. Secondly, Chief Minister of West Bengal was not invited to the event that you are referring to.
I have a copy of the
No
letter.
invitation was extended to her at all. You may
I'll
have a
ask
copy,
the
it may have been
producer to
supplied
put
to
that
you
letter
post
on the
facto.
screen.
You may have a pledge that might be there with you. It might have been manufactured. Chief Minister's
No, it
office
has not been
never received
manufactured.
any invitation.
This is a letter dated
No
4th,
contact was,
which clearly says
No,
that the
that-
Chief
that-
Minister's
that at least
office
means-
received the
that
letter
at least
and the
means
Chief Minister was
that you are
invited for the
trying to-
centenary
that
celebrations.
You are trying to defame the Chief Minister of West Bengal,
I'm not
who
trying
has
to
been
defame
7
anybody.
times Lok
I'm
Sabha
just
MP
asking you a straight
and twice-
question, Professor Mishra.
so
Just
therefore-
answer my
so-
question. Just answer my question.
You asked me the
Mamata
question.
Banerjee has a
You-
problem with the
I
CBI. She has a
answered your
problem with the
question.
Election Commission. She has a problem with the Home Ministry. But why should she have a problem with a university which is in her own state?
She also has a problem with Godi media. In fact, people of India have a problem with Godi media. The point is that when the Chief Minister says she was not invited, she has not received it, then her words prevail. So therefore, the onus is on people who said that they have sent it, they have never contacted her, we have never received any letter. She is on record saying that. So therefore, trying to impose this particular manufactured version on her and on the government of West Bengal is artificial,
I'm going to talk
is
about the
manufactured,
cultural
and it actually stands no
appropriation
scrutiny.
war that is playing out. And for that, I'm going to begin with you, Mr. Malviya. Is the outsider tag now sticking to the BJP, and that's why this appropriation of the culture of the state and also engineering defection with Shubhendu Adhikari and others?
Look, Marya, the fact is that Acharya Devaprasad Ghosh, who was the longest serving president of the Bharatiya Janasangh, came from West Bengal. Then Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, who founded the Bharatiya Janata Party, came from West Bengal. So how is it that the BJP can ever be an outsider to Bengal? Let me point to you the TMC's heritage, so to say. They were spun out of the Congress. The Congress was founded by a Britisher called A.O. Hume, and therefore the TMC is far more a party not from the Bengal as compared to the BJP. Now, you speak about this cultural war. Tell me, is Rabindranath Tagore an icon only of Bengal, or is he an icon of the country, or he is somebody who symbolizes the Indian civilization, who has been recognized world over? If you remember, when Home Minister Amit Shah traveled to visva-bharati recently, he made a very telling point. He said he got the Nobel, and it was an honor for Nobel to have picked up a luminary like Rabindranath Tagore. That's the kind of pride that the BJP has or has taken for decades in Rabindranath Tagore. Vivekananda, who obviously comes from the soil of West Bengal, is a revered icon for the wider Sangh Parivar. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, his files were declassified by Modi administration. We've named an island in the Andamans on Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. What did Mamata Banerjee do? She was a 5-time member of parliament. She was a minister in the UPA government.
Respond to
She's
this.
been chief
Professor
minister
Mishra,
for 10 years.
what did you
has
do?
she done for anybody?
Yeah. Well, to hear that Swami Vivekananda was part of the greater Sangha Parivar is an insult to the teachings and the legacy of Swami Vivekananda. And secondly, the BJP is the political party, and it traces itself to Janasangha and to RSS. They are very ashamed of admitting that in public. I can see that. And they are the traitors to the country. And in fact, they tried to help the Britishers, and they attempted to sabotage. And Shyama Prasad Mukherjee's so-called legacy is in fact mired in controversy. He made such a type of compromises, and he sacrificed the interest of the Bengalis and the Bengal, and which actually is very well known.
BJP quick 20
is
seconds from you, and
has
then I'll bring
witnessed an
Kanchan Gupta and
artificial growth,
Sapalakwi.
and so
Today,
therefore
if you
we do
have
not
the
need to
state
get
of West
anything,
Bengal
any leaching.
and you have a thriving legacy in the state is because of Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. Let's not forget that he was at the forefront when this bitter partition was happening, he was the one who protected the Hindus who migrated to West Bengal. So for the TMC to say that he had a controversial past is to suggest that every Hindu living in the state of West Bengal is something that they do not recognize, and they do not recognize the partition and the history and the pain and the agony they had to go through. It's shameful that we have a TMC spokesperson saying all of this stuff. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee laid down his life for integrating Kashmir to India. Today, if Article 370 has been revoked, it is something that the seeds were sown by Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. Instead of being proud of him, the TMC is deriding him purely because he happens to be the icon of the wider Sangh Parivar. They've also disowned to an extent Swami Vivekananda because the wider Sangh Parivar reveres him. I'm ashamed that we have to have a debate of this kind with the TMC.
Okay, fine.
And this is not surprising because Mamata Banerjee on several occasions has run down these icons and has done very little for them.
Okay, Kanchan Gupta, you tweeted this morning on how Prime Minister Modi's new look modelled after Rabindranath Tagore, Bengal's tallest icon. Many social media users have also pointed that out. Tagore, Bose, Vivekanand icons are important to Bengalis. They are emotional about their language and culture. Will you now say that battle for Bengal will be decided in this terrain of culture, of heritage?
Marya, let me begin by thanking you for inviting me to your show. I am a bit surprised by this continuing discussion on the culture of Bengal, outsider versus insider in Bengal. The culture of Bengal is not different from the culture of India. It is integral to the culture of India. Number two, to talk about outsider and insider in West Bengal, parties which have been in power in West Bengal since 1947, they need to explain how come the demography of Calcutta, the capital of Bengal, is so heavily skewed against the Bengali population of West Bengal. What happened? What went wrong? And if some outsiders are acceptable, my reference is very clearly to the huge influx of illegal aliens, illegal immigrants into West Bengal. If they are acceptable, surely Indians, and definitely the Prime Minister of India, the Home Minister of India, are not only acceptable, but they have all rights to be in Bengal, canvassing for their party or talking about their government. Now, coming back to this morning's event, it was an important event because it also reflected where the Prime Minister stands on what you referred to as icons of Bengal. Although Rabindranath Tagore was more than an icon of Bengal, he was an icon of India. He was known in his lifetime, he was known as the light of Asia. And subsequently, he became a universal icon for whatever his thoughts and his philosophy was. So to say that he is an icon of Bengal just because the state government plays Ravindra Sangeet on street corners is really, it doesn't make much sense. So, and let me also remind you.
Kanchan Gupta, so tell me, since you understand the state much better certainly than me, will the battle for Bengal be now decided in that space? That who understands the culture better? Because this outsider versus insider narrative, will it actually hold?
Not really, Marya. This is all deflection which is happening. Let me tell you, the assembly election of West Bengal will be contested, will be fought, and will be won. Will be won by whichever party puts up the best performance on three basic fundamental issues. And those are: one, the development and economy of West Bengal; number two, the political violence of West Bengal; and number three, the political violence that continues to sort of inflame West Bengal.
Okay.
And number three, the corruption, the party bureaucracy corruption, which incidentally was also the reason why the left front was booted out of West Bengal.
Okay.
And in 10 years, the same model has been replicated. And if you ask anybody in West Bengal, where is the person who is untouched by the party bureaucracy, by the party cadres corruption, the cut money thing, it's amazing. Nowhere else in the country. I live in the national capital region of India. If I were to, I'm a Bengali who lives in a non-Bengali state.
Yeah.
If I were to buy property, sell property, build a house, I'm free to do it the way I wish to.
I'm going to take that question. Yes.
In Bengal, Marya, Bengal, a Bengali, if he wants to buy a house, sell a house, build a house, he has to go through the local dadas of Trinamool Congress.
Okay.
Even the cement or the brick or the steel for the house has to be purchased as per the local dada's choice.
Okay, let me get a quick word also from Sabha Naqvi. Sabha, this appropriation or the understanding of Bengali legacy began in 2016 by the BJP. Shanti Niketan, the university set up by Tagore, is on the Home Minister's itinerary during his tour of Bengal. Recently, the Prime Minister unveiled a statue of Swami Vivekanand in Jawaharlal Nehru University. The TMC may be talking about disconnect, which is evident. But the fact is that this is a project on which the BJP has been working for a very long time.
So, Marya, here's my thing, and I do know something about Bengal. I have spent months researching the cultural identities of Bengal. So, I'm very happy to see the Home Minister of India enjoying Baul music. And he may know also by now that Lalan Fakir was the greatest Baul composer, and that Rabindranath Tagore, we must never forget, he gave the national anthem for Bangladesh also. It is celebrated, and he has written a wonderful essay called Nationalism. So let's remember all this. Because you have found it so significant, this ceremony that the Chief Minister did not attend. I don't think she wanted to attend, whether she got the invitation or not. And don't forget that just 2 days ago at AMU, when the Prime Minister spoke again, did the Chief Minister of the state attend? I have that question for you. Number one, maybe he didn't want to be in a Muslim campus in Aligarh Muslim University. I don't know. Maybe his thinking is different from what the Prime Minister said his thinking is. In the matter of, I don't think Mamata Banerjee wanted to go there, whether she got the invitation or not, because Narendra Modi is there. So because I don't think she has an issue. Nobody makes a mistake that she's a Bengali. I mean, she's completely Bengali with every bit of it. The election for Bengal will be fought on incumbency or anti-incumbency. There is a vacuum in a space because as far as I know, the left has disintegrated. She has had 2 terms. Whether the BJP can fill up that space or not. But to say that suddenly, without a good, credible Bengali leadership, that they will be able to fill it. And I will make one last point, Marya. Do not get taken in by the data when it comes to national elections and assembly elections. Show me one election since 2019 where the Lok Sabha result from a particular state has been repeated in the assembly. It's not happened anywhere. Even in Bihar, the BJP had 19% of the vote. Haryana, they needed an ally. They lost Jharkhand.
Okay, Amit Malviya will respond to
I'm sorry, that is
3 questions that have been raised and 3 points being raised by Sabha Naqvi here. Amit Malviya, go ahead.
I don't know why Sabha never seems to surprise me, because she can only see things in the context of Hindu-Muslim. She made Aligarh Muslim University a Muslim university. But the fact of the matter is that it's a centrally funded university. 50% of the students are given reservations from the Muslim community, and there are a lot of Hindu students who also go to AMU. So, maybe Sabha can't probably get herself out of this Hindu-Muslim mindset that she perennially finds herself in.
Why didn't the Chief Minister attend? Did you get offended that the CM did not attend? Amit Malviya, why did the CM not attend, and why do you expect Mamata to attend? Do you have different standards for your Chief Ministers? I'm asking you. I don't think Mamata wants to attend. That's very clear. She didn't want to be there. I don't think she has the identification process problem Why did Adityanath Yogi not attend? Since
Okay.
you are harping on that, I have a question for you on
okay,
that.
Amit Malviya respond, and then I'll bring other panelists and then wrap up the debate.
Well, I thought Sabha wasn't the anchor of the program. She's just a participant, and perhaps she lost sense of that. The fact is that whether Yogi
have my senses
Adityanath
of
did go to AMU or not, he at least did not come out and say that he wasn't invited, which is what Mamta Banerjee did. And the fact is that Mamta Banerjee was invited and she chose to give it a miss. She's offended the legacy of Tagore. She has offended visva-bharati.
You think you are the legacy of Tagore? Now I will laugh loudly, Amit Malviya.
Reveres, and that is important. She was wanting to get invited, as she indicated from her comments that she made after the program. And that is the problem. She has been caught lying because the Visva-bharati administration has put out a letter where they had invited the chief minister and she was found being economical with truth. That is the reality. As far as Bengal is concerned and as far as the debate around how the assembly will vote is concerned, let me remind everybody that in 2019, the very same set of people, including the likes of Sabha Naqvi, said that the BJP is unlikely to get more than 2-3 seats. The best estimate was 5.
How do you know?
The BJP won 18. It missed 2 seats narrowly by a few thousand votes. So clearly the BJP got around 20 seats out of 42.
Has the BJP repeated assembly?
Those who
Has the BJP, is there any election where you have
likely to
repeated
do
in the
well
assembly?
in the Vidhan Sabha elections
Tell me
next
one.
year?
Yes, you know, just
one
moment, both of you, please wait.
One
Amit Malviya,
election,
no,
Amit
one moment,
Malviya.
yes.
Where
Amit
the
Malviya,
Lok
respond
Sabha
to this
mandate
point.
is repeated in the assembly.
Yes, the Lok
Why
Sabha
do you
performance
need
of the
why do you
BJP
need
being
an ally
repeated in
in
the assembly,
Haryana?
but Sabha,
That's an important
the
point,
point
no?
being made, I think, the entire process and the understanding changes post Bihar. It may not be as big, but the BJP's strike rate was much better, the best among all the parties, that is the truth. And to retain a state like Bihar and perform better than your local alliance partner is also
But was it as good as the Lok Sabha?
Okay, go
They
ahead.
won everything.
Not as good
They
as
won
the Lok Sabha.
everything in the Lok Sabha.
Yes, Amit
They
Malviya,
had
not as good
90
as
Can
the
I
Lok
come in
Sabha.
also?
Yes.
In the end,
Amit Malviya
Haryana,
will
they won
respond.
everything.
Yes.
They lost
You know,
Delhi, they won everything
Amit
in
Malviya,
Delhi.
quickly,
Does
1 minute.
it does not translate,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
sorry.
Yes,
No,
Sabha,
no,
Delhi, they
once
won
again,
everything.
One moment.
Haryana,
once
they won
again,
everything.
you
Haryana,
have
they
to
won
be
Yes.
you have
I'm
to be
coming to you.
fair.
Yes.
You have to be fair.
I'm
You have
very
not given
fair.
me a chance to rebut.
Yes, Professor
You have
Mishra,
to be
I'm coming
fair.
to you. 1 moment.
No,
Yes.
I have not been given the chance.
I'm coming to
This
you.
is
1
the third
moment.
time
1
that you were
moment.
asking.
1 moment. Yes.
Can
Amit
I
Malviya,
come
quickly,
in?
30 seconds.
Okay.
Maria, the truth is that people like Sabha thought that the BJP wasn't getting a full majority on its own in 2014. They again thought that the BJP is not coming back to power in 2019. They thought that we are not winning Bihar, and they are now also assuming that we will not do as well as we did in Lok Sabha.
Okay.
Let me just say one thing. The elections in Bengal will surprise these naysayers. We will also win Assam, something that is going
Professor
to be a
Mishra,
big blow to the
30
likes of
seconds to you
Sabha
and then the
Naqvi,
final words
and
to
that is the
Kanchan
truth,
Gupta.
because the ground realities of Bengal are very different from these
30 seconds,
mathematical
quickly.
calculations that Sabha is
Amit,
referring to.
Yes, Professor Mishra.
हिंदी में भी बोल देती हूँ,
हाँ.
बांग्ला में भी practice कर दूंगी.
I will just take 2 minutes.
Yes, please go ahead,
I will
Professor
take
Mishra.
less than 2 minutes, please,
Yes, you have
please.
30 seconds. Go ahead.
The BJP's so-called rise is artificial, strengthened, bolstered by the CPIM vote. But in the by-election, they lost so badly. So therefore, you all are trying to create a situation where the BJP is on ascendancy, etc., etc. That is completely false.
Okay.
Secondly, BJP is trying to project Bengal in negative light. Bengal is one of the most stable and most democratically inclined state of the country. And here the BJP right now is looking the villain for the entire country
Okay.
with the
Kanchan
farmers.
Gupta, is the
Farmers
BJP the
wanting
villain
repeal.
or are
And
they
then
hope
that's not
in
happening.
Bengal?
That is not being done.
If the
Again,
gentleman-
you come
Yes,
to
Kanchan
Amit
Gupta, that's a question to
Malavia.
you.
if the gentleman is over with his
No,
shouting-
that
He's done,
is
he's done.
fine.
Now it's your turn.
If the gentleman is over with
No,
his
I am
shouting-
not shouting. You are the one who got all the
Yes,
time.
Kanchan
That
Gupta,
is
go
why.
ahead.
It's very
I
loud.
don't need to shout,
You are
Mr.
very
Malviya.
loud.
Yes.
It is you who give
Kanchan Gupta
false
on the screen now,
information.
please.
You
Yes.
give false
Now-
information. You have.
Now, you see, Marya, a lot of people with very passing knowledge of West Bengal are making sweeping statements. And to say that it is a state where democracy is flourishing, more than 110 BJP party workers have been killed in West Bengal. And the world knows who killed them. But let me not get into those finer details. You see, if the Trinamool Congress is so sanguine, so confident of winning the assembly election, and possibly they have full reasons for being so sanguine and so confident, why are they betraying this great sense of despair, desperation, of the language in which they are talking, the language in which the gentleman on this show is talking, their body language? I mean, that sort of suggests a sense of panic. That doesn't suggest a sense of cool and calm confidence.
Okay.
So, let's get these facts in place. And somebody over here suggested that the BJP has never been able to
really come to the end of this
its
discussion. I'm
Lok Sabha
hoping to have you back
But
on my
I just
shows.
wanted to put on record that in Uttar Pradesh, the BJP...
Please correct your knowledge about Bengal. You are talking
fine,
to
I'm
someone
going to continue this
who is
discussion
in
and I'll have
politics
all
for
of you.
40 years.
Thank you so much for
And
joining us. Kanchan Gupta, Sabha Naqvi, Amit Malviya and Professor Mishra. Of course, this is our top story and we will continue to debate this story again and again because of the cultural heritage that could very well become the central narrative of these elections in the next few months. Thanks so much for watching.